you just can't see all the hours we spend getting ready for deer season and how many hours we spend in stand. Of course, your hunt was nothing like that.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. You know, the year before I thought was great, where I killed one on the second day. I would have never thought that I'd go in the first evening and have the bucks coming into the tree like I did.
You know, this was the new property we got, and we did a ton of scouting and run hundreds and hundreds of man hours of covert trail cam pictures.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you still second guessing yourself. You don't know for sure if you're on the deer or not, and that was our case. We didn't know for sure if we had picked the right spots or not. We thought we did, but until you hunt them and watch deer movement, you can really hone in. Sometimes you're off 40 yards, 50 yards, but in this case, man, we nailed it.
You know, anytime we get a new piece of property, we go in there and we decide we're going to put food plots, we're going to mow trails, how we want the deer to travel and stuff like that, and this was the perfect place to put in the way we like to hunt.
Yeah, you know, Hunter and I went down there with the tractor and we started mowing areas where we were going to make food plots. And this area where this buck came in was one of those areas. The problem was we mowed everything, but we didn't end up making food plots because we were hunting so much out west. But lucky for us, the clover started growing through that grass like crazy.
Alright, this is our first evening here in Indiana. We're on a brand new farm. We just saw a doe at about 50, 60 yards. They should filter right by us and head out to this cornfield. They just picked it a few days ago, so stay with us. It's open season in Indiana. Got a call to it. That's wrong.
You know, we had what, 15 trail cameras on that property, but we didn't have one picture of your buck, and they actually picked the cornfield the day before and he moved in.
Yeah, all I can think is either he's living across the road on the neighbor or south or in those fields, but literally, I mean, that was what was crazy. I'd never seen that buck on pictures. I thought he was another buck, but I wasn't for sure, you know, when I shot him. But I remember them long beams. I was like, man, this is a heck of a deer. I had a young buck come in, then another 130 class, and when I looked up, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a shooter buck, and he was coming right towards us. And I was hollering at Clay, hey, get up, there's a shooter buck coming. And he was fooling with his safety harness. I thought he was gonna spook the buck away. Well, when this buck comes in, I'm having a mental battle because we had bigger deer on this farm. But yet any other year, I would shoot this buck. He's a 150 class buck, and I would shoot him in a heartbeat. So he stands there for a very long time. And finally I thought, you know what? If I was watching this show, I would be ticked off if I didn't shoot that buck because he's a mature buck. And when he turned around to leave, I drew my bow and I let him have it.
Down, baby. Down. First night to stand. Smoke the long brown 9. Boom. I'm done in Indiana. He's crashing. Yeah. First night in Indiana. I'm done on my land. Boom. Freaking Matthews and the trauma, baby. Smoked him.
Oh my God. Oh, that's awesome, dude. First freaking day in Indiana. He's a stud, dude. Look at that rack.
You know, I had to work that night, and I was actually hoping to hunt that spot because we'd hung that stand about a week before. But you waited for me to help do the recovery, and we all got together and did some celebrating.
Yeah, that was a good time. You know, we heard him crashing over there, and it was crazy how things change at night in a thicket because it's so thick and nasty. And he only went maybe 70 yards and piled up. And man, when I found him, I was like, this is so amazing. I killed a buck 3 hours in the first day of my hunt. I mean, that's just crazy. You know what's crazy is the fact that I'm having a war in my mind because I know we have giants in here, but he's a mature buck. I was like, I would be ticked off if I was watching a show and the guy passed that deer up. I mean, I'd smoke him anytime, dude. Good teamwork.
That's a stud, dude.
Can you believe
I
that?
just shot him. We don't have pictures of him. It's a brand new deer.
Brand new.
deer. Look at the mass all the way out.
I know it. Unbelievable.
He'll be
Trauma smoked him, man. Smoked.
40 to 45.
Yeah. See, he was quartering away. I did hit him back and drove it up in there.
Yeah.
Game over. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. Right there by that tree. It's right there, so that tree somewhere.
Right to the tree, baby.
He ran right down.
Yeah, he did.
Get some more.
I tell you what, this is amazing. I thought I'd never outdo shooting one on the second day I hunted, and the fact that I got on the first day is phenomenal. I mean, you're hunting wild deer. You know, you never know. We had a great 8-pointer come in, about 118-inch deer, probably 3 years old, 130-inch deer. They just kept getting bigger. And when this big boy walked out, I was like, are you kidding me? That's a shooter buck. I mean, I couldn't believe it. We waited and waited to get in here till it was right. We let him combine the corn. I'm amazed. In fact, I get to celebrate it with all my friends, my best friend James. We've been hunting together since we were little kids. We got this ground this year for the first time. It's phenomenal. I hope he kills a freaking Boone and Crockett here because this land is amazing. You know why we use Hunt Force? This is the reason right here. Hunt Force told us to come in here and hunt this stand in the evening. We got the right wind, we got the right conditions. First night in, I kill a giant buck.